If I could find a portal in time back to the 1960s and 70s and could go through it on the understanding that I could never return, I'd take that leap in a heartbeat. Sat shining in my garage are 4 pieces of automotive jewellery. 4 motorcycles, each in their own way paying tribute to, of all things, a notion, a feeling, a thought, a memory, and in many ways a longing to be back in simpler times, a forlorn longing only ever finding expression in dreams and memories. The rise in relatively recent years of the modern classic motorcycle is attributable as much to a change in the demographic of motorcyclists over those years as it is to the attractive pricing of offerings from the likes of Royal Enfield and BSA. And how much of the increasing popularity of lower capacity machines is down to their relative affordability, and how much is down to an increasingly ageing motorcycle community, poses an interesting question. With an average age of 54, today's UK motorcyclists are more likely to favour a machine of manageable size and weight, together with manageable running costs. Throw in some styling destined to ignite a nostalgic glow in the hearts of many older bikers, and you have the perfect formula for our two-wheeled age. These nostalgic feelings that we all have in middle and older age are amplified by the sight, sound and feel of these automotive works of art. The creative processes within the design teams at Triumph, Royal Enfield, BSA, Moto Guzzi and others are surely heavily influenced by the increasing desirability of all things retro in a modern age when all aspects of life seem an endless disappointment to those of us who can remember better times and yearn for ways in which to reconnect with those lost halcyon years of our youth. And we can make that connection even on the days when the British weather prevents us from riding. One of the pluses in our new world, full of minuses, is the ability to sit back and indulge in any number of nostalgic videos of film footage from times gone by via the YouTube platform. For something more tangible during non-riding days, I can beat a retreat into my garage, crack open a cold beer and drink from both the can and from the surroundings. 4 gleaming retro motorcycles surrounded by vintage wall art and faux neon signs. Heaven. Yep, nostalgia is big business in an age where some things are so bad that even the most distorted memories of our earlier years offer us a welcome distraction, some comfort for our tortured souls in these times of greed, corruption and seemingly universal dysfunction. But what is nostalgia? Is it nothing more than a trick of the mind? Or is it a manifestation of a prevailing truth that our best times are always behind us? Nostalgia is a powerful and universal emotion that transports individuals back to moments of the past, evoking a mix of joy, longing and sometimes sorrow. Derived from the Greek words nostos, which means return home, and algos, pain, nostalgia was once considered a medical condition, but it's now recognised as a complex psychological phenomenon. It shapes our identity, influences our decisions, and provides comfort in times of uncertainty. While nostalgia can be a source of happiness and motivation, it can also lead us to an unrealistic idealisation of the past, preventing individuals from fully engaging with the present. Nostalgia serves as an emotional anchor, connecting people to cherished memories, relationships, and experiences. Psychologists suggest that nostalgia helps individuals maintain a sense of continuity in their lives, reinforcing their identity and values. When people reminisce about childhood, past friendships, or significant life events, they often experience warmth and reassurance. Apparently, studies have shown that nostalgia can counteract feelings of loneliness and anxiety, offering a mental refuge during difficult times. Nostalgia has a social function. It strengthens bonds between people who share common memories. Family traditions, cultural rituals, and collective historical experiences foster a sense of belonging. For example, reunions, holiday celebrations, and even trends like vintage fashion, retro music, and of course retro motorcycles demonstrate how nostalgia unites people across generations. Of course, it can be a double-edged sword. Despite its benefits, nostalgia can distort reality. The human tendency to remember the past selectively often leads to an idealised version of events, overshadowing the struggles and imperfections that existed. This so-called rosy retrospection can create dissatisfaction with the present, as individuals compare their current lives to an exaggeratedly positive past. In extreme cases, excessive nostalgia may result in resistance to change, hindering personal growth and societal progress. Political and cultural movements sometimes exploit nostalgia to promote a return to better times, which may have never been as perfect as portrayed. This manipulation can fuel polarisation as different groups cling to conflicting versions of the past. Recognising nostalgia's potential biases allows individuals to appreciate memories without becoming trapped by them. But in today's fast-paced, technology-driven world, nostalgia has become a cultural commodity. Streaming platforms revive old TV shows. Fashion trends from previous decades resurface, and social media encourages users to share throwback photos. This commercialisation of nostalgia reflects a collective desire for stability amid constant change. While revisiting the past can be comforting, it's essential to balance nostalgia with an openness to new experiences. No, I'm not too sure about that. But with all of that said, I can't help but reflect upon my favourite novel ever, and my favourite TV drama ever. Stephen King's 11/22/63 is a novel steeped in notions of nostalgia. The story's central character is shown a time portal in, of all things, a local diner. Going through this portal, he finds himself in 1960s America, where he begins to live out a life with the ultimate aim of preventing JFK's assassination at the hands of Lee Harvey Oswald on November 22nd, 1963, the date which gives the book its title. He returns back to his own time on occasion, but ultimately chooses to go through the portal one more time to live the rest of his life in those better years. In the BBC TV drama series Life on Mars, the central character is a police detective serving in 2005 who finds himself transported back to the early 1970s after a freak accident. He struggles with his newfound police career some 30 plus years before his real time, and spends most of his energy on trying to get back to the period in which he belongs. At the conclusion of the series, he makes a choice to remain back in the 70s, presumably in the belief that it isn't so bad after all. Two different storylines with the same basic outcome. For me, this illustrates perfectly that my notions of life being better in the 60s and 70s are not an illusion created by the passage of time, but an undistilled understanding that for the most part they were better times. If by some miracle my garage shrine to times gone by could develop its own portal to the past in a dark corner, just like Al's Diner, then I'd be through there in a heartbeat, and like Jake Epping and Sam Tyler, I wouldn't be coming back to this shit show. Al City.